Hi, my name is Citadini de Oliveira. This study was developed together with Dr. Ricardo Flagerini Rupi and Professor Energia. We are from the Laboratory of Energy Efficiency in Buildings at the Federal University of Santa Catarina in Florianópolis, Brazil. The title of this paper is Influence of Air Movement and Air Humidity on Thermal Comfort in Office Buildings in Florianópolis, Brazil. In Brazil, the commercial sector accounts for 14.4% of the national electricity consumption. Energy-efficient strategies such as natural ventilation and fans have lower power consumption than air conditioners and can be used to improve thermal comfort. Literature shows that in mixed mode and naturally ventilated buildings, air movement plays a fundamental role in occupants' thermal perception. However, different studies found distinct effects of air humidity on thermal comfort. Thus, this work aims to investigate the influence of air velocity and air humidity on user thermal comfort in office buildings located in the humid subtropical climate in Florianópolis. The city of Florianópolis is located in southern Brazil, in South America. The climate is classified as humid subtropical, with hot summers and mild winters. This study is based on analysis of data collected during 2 years in one building with central air conditioning system and 2 mixed-mode buildings, in which there was alternation between the natural ventilation mode and the air conditioning mode, according to user preference. Environmental variables were measured inside the buildings through microclimate stations and a portable thermal anemometer. Simultaneously, user subjective data were obtained by means of an electronic questionnaire. In order to evaluate the relationship between environmental and subjective data, statistical analyses were performed. For this purpose, as suggested by other authors, the humidity ratio was considered in the analysis of this work. Collected data consist of 2,644 measurements regarding environmental variables linked to subjective data. The results show that the mean external air temperature was lower for mixed-mode buildings in natural ventilation mode, indicating that natural ventilation was mainly used during the intermediate seasons and the winter. Also, the humidity values were higher for natural ventilation mode in comparison to air conditioning mode, which may be related to the air humidity reduction due to the use of air conditioners. In mixed-mode buildings, natural ventilation was mostly used in winter and air conditioning in summer. In the fully air-conditioned building, 82.1% of the data were collected in summer and 19.7% in spring. It was found no correlation between the environmental variables, air velocity and humidity ratio, and users' thermal acceptability and comfort. Thus, there is no direct influence of air movement and air humidity on users' thermal comfort. It is noteworthy that this particular study was limited to air velocity concentration around 0.1 meter per second, and users adapted to local high humidity conditions. The thermal acceptability was high and low when air movement was considered acceptable and unacceptable, so these variables are related. The results show that the percentage of votes indicating neutral humidity sensation and humidity preference for no change was higher for thermal neutrality condition. As thermal sensation increased or decreased, there was a higher preference for dry or wet ambient and more humidity or less humidity. Thus, thermal sensation is related to humidity sensation and preference. The percentage of votes indicating enough air movement sensation and air movement preference for no change was higher for users in thermal comfort. Otherwise, occupants in thermal discomfort prefer some change in the environmental conditions. Similarly, there was a predominance of neutral humidity sensation and humidity preference for no change for occupants in thermal comfort compared to those in thermal discomfort. In mixed-mode buildings in natural ventilation mode, the percentage of votes regarding wet ambient sensation and preference for less humidity was higher in comparison to dry ambient sensation and preference for more humidity, respectively. The opposite was observed in mixed-mode buildings in air conditioning mode and the building with central air conditioning system. Thus, the subjective variables related to air movement and air humidity influence users' thermal comfort. This study evaluated the influence of air movement and air humidity on users' thermal comfort in the humid subtropical climate of Florianópolis, southern Brazil. It was found that air velocity and air humidity have an indirect influence on thermal comfort. So, it is important to consider these variables in building design in order to improve users' comfort and satisfaction, as well as reduce energy consumption by means of decreasing the use of air conditioning. These are the references used to prepare this work. We are available for any questions. Thank you for your attention.